Today we're going to do some benchmarking on Yserinde to see how well she performs in some of the hardest content. So we're going to go to the Fool's Journey over here, and we're going to go to the new hard mode in the Taiwanese servers. These are some really brutal stages where we can do some good testing on some of the strongest units you can face. We're going to do the stage. I barely managed to scrape through this stage. So some of the units we're going to use here just to benchmark Yserinde. We'll bring a 5-star Inanna SP, 5-star Samantha SP as well. Meister there for some healing. We'll just let them run in auto, and then we just see how they perform, and we'll talk a little bit about what Yserinde is doing to the enemies. So these enemies, they pretty much one-shot you, and they're very tanky as well. So we'll just see how these guys are all gonna perform. You can see we're barely scratching these enemies with Inanna. And she goes down there with one shot. So yeah, Yserinde comes in here. She's gonna now lay down some daggers. That's what she does on her first turn. She's gonna lay down a lot of daggers with her ultimate skill. Mark these enemies with feathers as well. And she usually runs away, which is perfect for your auto. Here comes Samantha. I think Samantha also, she has max 5-star astral weapon there. She does lots of damage. We just heal up, defense up, regen. Multiple stacks of regen here. So there you can see Yserinde. It's not even a turn, but she's doing damage. As the enemies step on those daggers, all those enemies around it are going to take damage from her. Get marked as well with the black feathers, DOT. Alright, some more healing in here. Damage sharing, Meister shares the damage there. So yeah, you can see these enemies hit really hard. We'll just see how long Yserinde can survive here. So she just keeps laying down these daggers, and which is a minefield for the enemy. And you see they'll step on it, and then those enemies will take the damage and get marked. The DOT. And if 4 of those daggers are activated, she'll also rain down more daggers on the enemy. Dealing piercing damage, I think it is. Yeah, shields there, regens, and then she activates a deflection, which is going to reduce the damage she takes by 50%. That's why she can be really tanky. There she goes in again for her ultimate skill, so now she's gonna lay down even more of a minefield for the enemies. You can see they're all marked with their feathers, getting more DOT. If they step on that, you know, they're all gonna take that damage and get marked with more frostbite, which is her damage over time. And frostbite is 50% of her magic attack and physical attack as damage to the enemies. And just take a note how tanky she is. She takes these hits really well, and then she generates shields, gets deflection. She actually went down there, but she did revive with the resolve. And then she does the damage on the enemies, giving her that regen. Back up to full health again. Yeah, she takes these hits really well. More shielding. Okay, there she finally went down, but that was too magical damage. Now let's just see what's going on here. We'll just see if we can clear this stage. We'll just go back 2 turns maybe. So if you look at these enemies with the black feathers, they have a stack of frostbite. So frostbite's gonna be 50% of her magic attack and physical attack as damage over time. She also applies minor frostbites, which is just 15%. So they all have 1 stack there. Okay, so this is generally what Yserinde does. She's usually the last unit standing on very tough content, and what you can do, you can actually clear the map with her if you just do some dagger hopping. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So when her additional skill is flashing like this, then she can use it as an instant for free. So what you do is you just lay down one of these daggers within a moving range where she can step on it again. So we'll lay one down over here, and if she creates a dagger, she restores 1 energy. So we'll do that. Now she's up to 4 energy. We move on to this dagger now, and then we'll cast her ultimate. She now has 4 energy. So we'll do this. And whenever she steps on a dagger, she can move again. So we'll hop from dagger to dagger using this. So now she just lays down more daggers, rains down more daggers, because whenever 4 daggers are laid down on the floor or they just stepped on, then she's going to rain down daggers on the enemies. So now we can start doing some dagger hopping and just move from dagger to dagger. And we can actually see this guy's been taking so many hits now. He's got 6 stacks of frostbite, which is insane. 50% of a magic attack and physical attack. And then you just move from dagger to dagger. Also, another thing these daggers are doing, if I just use Ragnarok over here. So every time you step on these daggers, she's going to restore tactical points for you. And so now you can reposition Yserinde out to safety. Once she's done all the damage, you can move from this dagger and then to this dagger. You can move her over there to safety from the enemies. So we'll just move over here. And then she can move there. I think that was another 4, and then she rains down more daggers on the enemy. Then you can just move over here to safety. The enemy can't even reach her. So just take a look at what's going on with all these enemies who has these. So they have 4 stacks. This guy has 4 stacks of frostbite, 2 stacks of minor frostbite. This one has also the same. This one has 5 stacks. This one has 5 stacks. This guy has 7 stacks of frostbite. So now we can just move over here, and she's also restored some tactical points again. End her turn over here, and now job is basically done. These enemies do have some regen in their traits, but it's still not enough. Yeah, they're just taking massive amounts of DOT. Except that guy, he wasn't hit with any black feathers. So yeah, this is a very, very difficult map. And she really makes it look easy actually. Even on auto, she nearly cleared this map. As you can see there, when she takes that damage, she generates a shield, gets deflection. So we can move her on a dagger here. The ultimate's not up yet, so we can't use that. But we can, for instance, just use her normal Plume Stratagem skill. We can lay a dagger over here, for instance, and still do some dagger hopping as well. Put one there, put another one, then move on to this one. We've pushed our tactical points up again. And then you can just move her to safety again. Yeah, and you can clear the map. And there we go. It's up again. The additional skill's up again. So you can cast this for free. We can put it behind him, for example. So that we can step on it. He takes the damage. We'll lay down another 3 daggers. So that's 1 dagger plus the 3 daggers, which means 4. So she rains down these daggers on enemies with black feathers. This unit's not marked with black feathers. We need to get some black feathers on her as well. So you can just do this. Remember, she can jump over enemies. So she's taking no penalties in her movement when moving through enemies, because she's technically jumping over them. So she can just keep her movement consistent. And we just killed that unit. Just like that. And tactical points is up really quick again, and you can cast your Ragnaroks again. So yeah, she can take out masses of enemies like this. And even we can just check this unit. She has 3 movement. So 1, 2, 3. We can move her over here. Lay down a dagger there on the 3rd tile, for instance. Okay, she never took the bait there. But we can just you can create your path of movement now that you want to. We can put a dagger down here, so I can move Yserinde here and onto that tile, and you can just reposition her like sort of like a web, like a spider web, wherever you want to. And then we can move her over here, which means she can move there. We'll put a dagger over there. Okay, I actually messed that one up. I was 1 tile away from that, so let's just move back. So we can put a dagger over there maybe. You can move to this one. You can cast the ultimate. Or you can just lay down 1 dagger if you want to. In this instance, we just need 1 dagger. I think that should be enough. Step on this one. She takes damage. Getting more frostbite stacks. 2 there. So now she's as good as finished. 4 stacks of frostbite there. And you can just move Yserinde out of the way there. And there she's gone. So yeah, this is what you can do with Yserinde on some of the toughest missions. And just to benchmark her against some of the strongest units. You can see these units go down with 1 or 2 shots. And Yserinde takes about, you know, she took a whole group of enemies and the mage to finally take her down there. So very strong defense, and she's got very strong regen as well. Shielding also, and then her damage is just the most out of all these units. She was clearing all of them, even the units that were full HP, she took them down. So I think this is a really good test to see the comparison against the strongest enemies and who's performing how well. We also do some more of these tests with some other units. I'm curious to see how well Camelot's also going to perform on this map, and then we can sort of compare them as well. Take it easy everyone, and I'll see you in the next one.